So, welcome back everybody to a quick overview of what has happened in the last week or so in Elite Dangerous. First off, we had the final beta stage, which advanced from 3.05, which you're seeing here, to 3.9, which you'll see in a second, and today the gamma phase of Elite Dangerous was released, so we're finally in the finished product as everybody can buy, like the one everybody can buy from December 12th. So, you're currently here seeing me in the last few days of the beta, before what I thought initially was the last wipe in my Laken 6. I tried out a few different trade routes and looked to maximize the profits that I can get from one round trip. And I've, in the end, became quite proficient with flying these routes and optimizing the landings and takeoffs so that they took the least amount of time. As you can see here, I'm now heavily using the side slip or side strafe commands, and off we go.
Landing gear deployed.
But unbeknownst to me, there would be a second wiping, which, well, at first I was a little bit upset because I've already climbed the ladder a little bit and made a little bit of money, but in the end I think it's for the better that they wiped all the progress that the players did in 3.9. As you can see here, I was using semiconductors and selling semiconductors and buying silver to get, I think, about 160,000 for 112 cargo units per round trip. So, with that being shown here, let's just jump to the return trip. And as you can see here, the problem with this trip was that one of the stations was 7,000 light years from the central star, and that it basically took roughly 5 to 10 minutes to just get here. And then you're greeted with a solar panel when you're coming out of hyperspace, or
Request granted.
so, as I said, I rely heavily on the side strafe now, but it gives you quite awesome views of these space stations when you're gliding in, and as you can see here, in all its detail and beauty.
Landing gear deployed. Scan detected.
And I had to say that even though I'm showing you here attempts that were good, that I have paid dearly for using this new method, and there have been a couple of times where I just splashed my Laken into the side of the docking port, which is quite embarrassing because I don't use shields anymore to get the most of out of the cargo capacity of the Laken 6, and this resulted in me being killed. So this is the 3.91 meter. The first wipe has happened, so you can see I'm in a in a sidewinder again, and I kind of grew bored of trying to find some bulletin board missions, and thought, okay, perhaps we can get a little bit of bounty hunting, but there were no bounties in the asteroid belt, so I thought, okay, then I might try a little bit of pirating, and you'll see my attempts here, which were, well, nice from a space combat point of view, but didn't result in too much cash. I'm trying to target the cargo hatch here because I think that perhaps if these guys have materials on board, then I can basically steal them from them, but unfortunately at this particular stage I somehow only picked targets that didn't have any cargo on board, so you'll have to make do with some nice combat footage. And as you can see, these are just the initial lasers that every sidewinder has, and it takes quite a while to shoot down the enemy with them. I'm about done with this one. Just a little more. And there you go. And here's our next customer. Again, I think I'm targeting the cargo hatch in the hopes of getting some lootable cargo that I can sell on the black market, but unfortunately all these sidewinders have empty cargo spaces, or at least the ones that I destroyed. You can see I'm overshot a little bit here, and now I find out that this guy has flak cannons on board, or fragmentation cannons as they are called in Elite, which are very nasty weapons. I tried these when I was a bounty hunter. They do incredible amounts of damage, but only have a very, very narrow path of light path. And you basically have to be very near to your enemy and hit him perfectly. So I know that I don't want to be in his target path. And as you can see here, I'm maneuvering around him. Basically, at this point, flying circles around him, using the side strafe commands and the upward and downward thrust. I'm coming a little bit close to these asteroids here, so I'm strafing around them. Now my opponent has the same problem, and he's trying again to shoot me, but I'm evading using the side strafe. Now I'm on his 6 again. He's about done. And there you go. So now I'm in the Gamma, and I foolishly took on a cargo run to a system that's about 10 light years away, and when you just saw the route I had to do, or I would have had to take to deliver it. And initially I started off on the route, but in the end I ditched the cargo and and now have a fine of about 112 credits for it, because there's no way that I'm going to do this giant round trip just to deliver cargo for a few thousand credits. So I just jumped into a new system. Everybody's everybody's starting positions are randomized, and this was the first system I jumped to, which basically I explored and then followed the Viper because I thought that the NPC would know where to go, but he was just flying off into the distance. And in the second system, this interception happened, and as you can see here, I'm about to lose it, and we'll see what kind of craft is intercepting me. Oh look, it's an Anaconda. Yeah. I'm getting out of here. As you can see, he's opening up on me, and it's typical. The first interception that I mess up, and that is successful, and immediately it's a master Anaconda, and I'm basically running for my life here. And as you can see, frame shift drive is still on cooldown, so but now, and I survived miraculously. So after a bit more of flying around, I decided to visit this station here. As you can see, they changed the color palette a little bit more. And the Sidewinder just gives you this beautiful look. When you're flying towards the docking bay. I think it was this station that I finally decided to ditch my cargo. I unfortunately did this on my way out, so I had to pay a fine for leaving my cargo in the or near the station. This incurs a fine of 250 credits per container, and yeah. However, I did a little bit of scanning when I left the system, and the planetary bodies that I scanned and found brought me about 6,500 credits. So, as a Kickstarter backer, I get an eagle, and my eagle is basically present at LHS 3447, which is about 150 light years away from me. And as you just saw, I discovered this just at this moment in the video, and I'm thinking, okay, how do I get to my eagle? Because you cannot switch to your eagle immediately. You have to fly basically your ship towards the eagle, and only then you can take possession of it or use it then. So I discussed this with RamJB, who was playing at the same time as me, and I decided to start out on the path towards my eagle. I found out that Sol is about, our solar system is about 80 light years away from me, and in the same general direction. So I think I'll just try to use the routes and go there, and decided to do a bit of exploration as Ram suggested, and on the way to get a little bit of money, and I've stick to this plan ever since. So this is the second system that I'm now exploring. I've sped this up to 4 times regular speed, and as you can see, it involves a lot of flying around, and this was very early in my career as an explorer, so I didn't really know what to do. Looking around here, trying to make out stars that are actually moving, and I found the first one, so I'm pinging away at them, and there are the first 2 stars, and I'm actually now scanning them, and this can be quite profitable. So if you discover a star system, and this is basically a star system that no one was ever in before, so I'm doing all the exploration here, and you basically, when there was no one here before you have to find all the stars, and I think this star system in the end probably consists of I think 8 planets, and you can see me here discovering the next one, or the next 2 actually, and scanning them, and now looking around, as you can see, I'm looking around, looking to find any other planets that are hidden in this station, in this system, but I think that's about it. So, here we are in the, I think, the second star system, and what I didn't realize at this very moment was that I didn't pack a fuel scoop, and that the initial mechanic that was present in Elite Dangerous that lets you activate a distress beacon when you're running out of fuel is not present anymore. So if you're running out of fuel, you're gone for good. If you don't have fuel scoop to basically get fuel from one of these yellow the suns, basically. As you can see here, I'm doing a little bit of exploration. This was the I think the second or the third system that I fully explored. And as you can see, there are several planets here. And I'm flying around here, scanning and exploring the system, and what I don't realize by now is that I don't have enough fuel to jump out of the system, and with the fuel that I don't have, or with this fuel or lack of fuel, this basically means that I'm going to die in this system. But before that, I found these rare artworks. Which fit in very nicely in the 4 cargo spaces that I have on the Sidewinder. And as you can see, there seems to be some kind of wreckage here, and on closer inspection we'll see it's the wreckage, I think, of an hauler. There you can see it seems to be the cockpit part of the hauler, and he basically lost full load of, I don't know, 11, 12 rare artworks, which I bet would fetch a very good price on the black market, but unfortunately I will not see the day of selling these, or won't see the day, so I cannot sell these because I don't have any fuel left. But before that, I've actually will show you a little bit more of exploration on this particular system. And if I remember correctly, the problem with dying is that you actually lose all the data from the star discoveries. So as you can see, this is later on I find another wreckage. This is the wreckage, I think, of an Imperial Clipper. I really wonder what happened to these guys. There seems to be another part of it. Doesn't seem to be pirates, because all the cargo is intact here. You can see there's platinum, but at this point I already know that I won't escape, so I'm not really thinking about exchanging my artworks for platinum. And since then I have restarted and ventured on with a fuel scoop, which I will show you in the next video. So, hope you enjoyed this little view of, or this little peek into the gamma of Elite Dangerous, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye!